first off, we have contracted consciousness, and contracted consciousness is having a very small idea of what's happening in the world. For example, on the news, you'll see 7 stories, 7 headline stories, normally some kind of tragedy, some kind of bad experiences that are happening in the world, because those sell. And these negative news stories put you automatically into a survival mind, where it grabs your attention, and you need to hear these stories and experience these stories, or they may affect you negatively in some way. So they grab that survival instinct, and over time you might think that the world is a very negative place. And to me, that has become a very contracted style of thinking. So let's for a minute put consciousness into 3 boxes, 3 neat little boxes. And the first metaphorical box of consciousness is contracted awareness. So this contracted consciousness can be described metaphorically as you sitting in this chair, and it's dark, and we give you a box of matches with 1 match inside. You've never been here before, you don't know what's happening, but you light the match, and then eventually you can see, this is a chair, this is the color of the floor, you can see what you're wearing, and then the match goes out. And that's a good way to describe a contracted box of consciousness. The second box, we could say, out of the 3 boxes of consciousness, is we would say, well, you're going to have an expanded consciousness. You'll be able to see more of the world and understand more of the world, what's happening. You'll be able to understand fundamental life questions. Who am I? Where am I going? What am I doing? And so on. So the second box of expanded consciousness could be described as you sitting in the chair, and we give you a torch. It's dark. We give you a torch. You're sitting in the chair, and you shine it around the room. And now you can see the pictures on the wall. You can see that there's tables and chairs and all kinds of things. And you can see the titles of these books. And you can look around the room, and this is expanded awareness, which compared to the first box, you're seeing a lot more. So that is obviously going to help you in many ways. Understand where you are, what's happening, and why you are sitting in this chair. But if we're to look more at the third box of consciousness, which is called pure consciousness, you'd be able to metaphorically describe that as you sitting in this chair. It's dark outside, but there's a full moon, and you're in a glass house, and the light is streaming in. You can see the ocean outside and the trees. You can see where you are, where the house is situated, and of course you can see all the things illuminated inside that house by this wonderful light of the moon and the stars. So you can go from contracted consciousness to expanded consciousness to pure consciousness. And this is essentially life's journey. Essentially, when we're stuck, we're in a very, very contracted state of consciousness. Stress, depression, anxiety, all of these things in life, you might be going through difficult situations, can put you in a state automatically of very, very contracted consciousness. And you'll be working through all your problems with a survival mind, a very basal mind. How am I going to survive this? How am I going to get out of this? And just your mind can run rampant trying to find answers to all of these situations that life brings you. But if you operate from a slightly higher consciousness, and you're able to think, feel, and act in an expanded way, you'll be able to see more. You'll be able to see that there's corners to turn, and that there's not only problems in life, but there's solutions as well. So how you get there is through practice. You practice meditation, yoga, mindfulness. You go on a course, you do something to get your consciousness expanded in a way. And when that happens, you can really start to heal. And that's all that medicine is trying to do anyway, is get you out of that contracted awareness and get you to try and experience some serotonin and dopamine, hits out there, and be able to move you from the downstairs of your brain to the upstairs. When we're talking about pure consciousness, then we're talking about spirituality. Then we're talking about mind, body, soul. We're talking about your physical body, your psychology, your emotions, and your spirituality. See, we're multi-dimensional human beings. Unless we're in that contracted state, we're not going to really experience the wood for the trees. We're going to be in a state of flux, of searching for answers that rarely come when you're in that kind of mindset. So pure consciousness is somewhere that we're actually going. Suffering is getting us there, and so is love. But we're going to pure consciousness anyway. Bad situations, trauma, life itself can feel like it's holding us back. But it is not life itself holding us back. It is our thinking that is contracted and holding us back. You see, life has no boundaries. It's abundant. It is limitless. And you might feel you are limited. And that is contracted consciousness. So you are not limited, and you are capable, no matter who you are, of healing and then transforming your life. And what you want is what you will get. But you're going to need an expanded consciousness and then a pure consciousness to thrive instead of just survive in this world.